And even then, Andy still drew up a game-winning play. And guess what? This fuckhead, this guy right here, like, bro, I'm pretty sure you've been playing wide receiver your whole life. You mean tell me you didn't check with the referee for this instance? Now, if y'all throwing this, if everybody's getting $1 million to throw this season, I get it. I get it. With all the Taylor Swift shit, I get it. But this shit is fucking ridiculous. Like for real, man. Like, what's wrong with y'all? Like, y'all don't want to win. All y'all got stone fucking fingers. Like, I don't get it personally. But whatever, that's cool. Hey, it's on y'all. I'ma still rock my Kansas City shit.
All right, what's going on, y'all? This is Tim and Ryan. As always, we thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of PPP. I know it's been a minute, so we got to get caught up on some things. Ryan, how you been doing, my dog?
I'm doing well, my brother. How about yourself?
I've been hanging in there, man. Been hanging in there, doing the best I can.
One day at a time. That's all we can do, brother.
Yes, we
That's
can.
all we can do.
And you know, I'm not a Lakers fan whatsoever, but congratulations to your Los Angeles Lakers for winning the participation trophy, the in-season tournament. I'm sorry.
They talking about making it to where you get a guaranteed playoff spot. Why y'all talking about that after we win it? Oh, Lakers win it, so it has to mean something now.
I mean, I'm gonna say this. You might not like this, but it's like, okay, the Lakers didn't win the finals, so we got to give these niggas a trophy for something. No, I'm just fucking with you. On a positive note, for y'all are doing. I know y'all ain't doing what y'all ain't doing. Maybe how you want them to do, but y'all are doing much better than y'all were at this point in the season last season. Because last season, what the fuck is going on?
Last season was a dumpster fire. I mean, like, you know, but we have, the thing is, our team is just now starting to get healthy. So we just now starting to play with all our players. I was just watching it before I came up. I mean, we flowing. Everybody has a role. Everybody knows their role, and everybody's trying to do good at their role. I think us winning that participation title shows that the true potential of this team with what we can do. And we just gotta stay healthy and play smart team basketball and let the chips fall where they may. And might be putting 17 up there, baby.
Not before us.
Okay, Jalen got that money, and he got that new braid pattern and forgot how to play basketball, bro. I don't know, but all right.
I mean, at this point, I'm ready for us to make, like, I'm hoping we make a splash at the trade deadline. I would definitely like to see Peyton Pritchard go to fuck somewhere else. Like, hell, make a trade with the Bulls and give me Alex Caruso.
Y'all just paid, but no, we finna get our other white boy back, man. We finna have two Kurt Rambuses. There's been talks of Alex coming back to us.
Yeah, and I have been seeing that. It's between Alex Caruso and Zach LaVine, which I definitely don't want to fucking see that. I don't.
I mean, Zachy Poo on the Lakers be nice, man. Be real nice. Be real nice.
But y'all, not for us. I mean, I definitely think we gonna do some damage in the East come playoff time. So it's definitely. I mean, when it is all said and done, as the way it's looking right now, it's gonna be us and Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Finals.
You're pretty much.
That's what it's looking like.
I'm not really worried about Phoenix because their team is built to win now. And when their starters is not on the floor, you see how they look.
Yeah.
All right, but I mean, we barely survived them. Was that last week? Yeah, that was last week.
Mm-hmm.
We barely survived them. I mean, thank God Booker and KD decided to have two fucked up games. So
right.
that was great. That was great. Yeah, this is the time of the year where basketball games, the intensity picks up. NFL games, the intensity
It
picks
picks.
up.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck Kadarius Toney. Um,
Oh,
and
fuck
and I
Fuck Mitch Trubisky. A fucking atrocious ass game he went out there and played the last Thursday. Everybody's been asking me about that shit. I'm like, I have no comment. I don't talk to me until Kenny come back. Kenny looked good. Kenny looked good that game. He looked good that one game, and bro, I was so fucking excited to see him play against Arizona. Then he go out and get hurt on the first fucking drive. I was pissed.
Shout out my boy K1. You know what I'm saying? But look at it this way: Mitchell Trubisky, the sky is XFL, CFL.
Yeah. At this point, like, hell, that I'm give me that dude we just signed, Trace McSorley, or give me Kyle Rudolph. At least I know they're gonna throw the fucking ball. Mitch, every time he drop back or he overthrowing somebody, like I don't know if I can watch another game of that shit.
His confidence is shot because motherfuckers like you been talking bad about his ass since the day he stepped in the NFL, man.
Yeah, you know I can't. I had high hopes. I had high hopes for Mitch after that first year. After that first year, he hit a wall. He hit a. I don't know what the fuck happened to him.
Then he have. I mean,
well, he did have Matt Nagy as his head coach.
That didn't really help.
No, it didn't.
That didn't really help. You saw after he was gone, it wasn't necessarily his fault, you know. But
nope.
We'll talk about that another day.
Yes, we do. Right now, we have to get off into some college talk. Congratulations to Jaden Daniels for winning the Heisman Trophy. I meant to ask,
3-loss team.
I was just going to ask, like, were you okay with the decision of them giving the Heisman to Jaden Daniels?
Okay. When I was looking at everybody's stats, I'm like, damn, this motherfucker got almost, he playing with almost getting 6,000 yards of offense.
Mm-hmm.
He's the second quarterback to pass for 4,000 yards, rush 4,000 yards, and account for 50 touchdowns since Kyler Murray when he won the Heisman.
Right.
But the games he was supposed to win, you lost against Alabama. They lost against Georgia, right?
Right.
And they lose against Ole Miss or somebody, Tennessee or somebody.
I want to say Tennessee.
Okay, Tennessee is nowhere near the team
that they were the season
last
before.
year. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that has to do with Hooker and him tearing his ACL. I mean, man, that's just horrible. And I feel for the brother, and I hope he finds a place somewhere soon. But
he's in Detroit. He's just the backup there.
Not playing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But to me, that was Michael Penix's Heisman. That's why I hope Washington goes out there and wins the national championship. I don't know how they're gonna do that against Texas's pass rush. They have not seen a pass rush like that all year. Let's call a spade a spade. You got 2 top 10 wins. Granted, it was against the same team, and granted, you had a lot of games won by one possession. So Texas. But I mean, that's why they got in. But if you ask me, bro, like if Bo Nix would have won that game, they would have gave Bo Nix the Heisman. I truly believe that.
They would have.
If Bo Nix beats or beats Washington, they give Bo Nix the Heisman. But I get it. He out of all the quarterbacks, he has the most statistics or yards or whatever. So whatever, I guess. Cool. You know how I feel about LSU, and it's messed up.
I know.
My grandma was born in Louisiana, but but whatever. RP Granny, but I mean, shout out Jet Life, you dig? But how do you feel about?
Shout out Spitter. I definitely would have liked to see it go to Michael Penix. I'm glad it didn't go to Marvin Harrison because they was Marvin Harrison Jr. because they was really pushing for that shit. I mean, yeah, Bo Nix, he did have 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns, but when you look at, I think Jaden Daniels with him having almost 6,000 yards collectively passing and running the ball, and him having collective 50 touchdowns collectively, I think that's what ultimately just won the committee and everybody that voted for him over. So I personally, I kind of wish they would wait to push this back until like the college football playoff, because I feel the same way about the Heisman that I do about like the NBA MVP or whatnot. I think it should be a collective as to what you do in the regular season and what you do in the postseason, or like in a bowl, in bowl games or whatnot. I think I personally feel like they should wait to get a Heisman to the player after the season is collectively over.
I feel you to give it to the most deserving, but it's a
Right.
regular season award.
True. That's true.
So I feel like it's justifiable. It's like, okay, you won the MVP. What are you gonna do? You saw last year, Joel won the MVP, the guy who should have won Finals MVP. Right. So there's levels to this thing.
Now I do want to point out, I know you said, yeah, they gave it to him after he was on a 3-loss team. Well, let's not forget Lamar Jackson also won the Heisman when he was on a 3-loss team.
But I mean,
yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying though.
Who was more exciting than Lamar that year?
Yeah, you're not lying.
Who was more exciting than Lamar? And then the committee did everything they could to keep Louisville ranked in the top 10. So that was a different year because I mean, yeah, Baker had that year, but I mean, a lot of people are saying, well, he wouldn't have did that with that DD. And then Deshaun had that. Deshaun was the guy that should have won the Heisman that year, if we call him a spade. But I feel like they gave it to the right guy. I mean, in that instance, but they're just salivating over the yards, and they don't want to see a Pac-12 team have a Heisman winner on their way out the door. I felt like. So I mean, who's going to be the better NFL quarterback? Probably Michael Penix.
Probably.
Or it could be Jaden Daniels. I don't know. All I know is all that running and shit he's doing now is going to have to stop in the NFL. That shit's going to have to slow down because he's going to have a cracked sternum, cracked ribs, and be hurt. But regardless, congratulations to the young man. Much success to him in his future endeavors.
And we definitely going to come back to that conversation about who's going to be a better quarterback in the NFL, because this is a pretty deep draft class coming into the NFL this year. And there's a lot of teams that quarterback wise, there's quite a few teams this year that's going to be looking for their quarterback of the future. So we definitely going to be coming back to that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to what I've been waiting to talk about since these games that went down. We have the college football playoff. We have number 1 Michigan versus what I think is going to be their toughest test in the last couple of years. Well, in the college football playoff, number 4 against number 4 Bama, and we have number 3 Texas against number 2 Washington. Now, before we get into these games, I want to know how you feel about Florida. Do you feel like Florida State should have gotten in?
If the criteria is win your conference, I mean, they did it. They won out. They lost. That was the 3rd loss. They beat LSU. You beat the Heisman winner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, handily. Handed him his ass. Pause.
Right.
That was probably his worst game being the LSU quarterback. And then Jordan Travis goes down. I mean,
and keep in mind, no, my bad. Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. It wasn't my turn yet. Go ahead.
And keep in mind, it's a team sport. Now, did they look like the same team when Jordan Travis went down? Unfortunately, no. But I mean, I keep going back to that 2015 team with Ohio State, right? They were on their 3rd string quarterback and won it all with Cordell Patterson. So
Cordell Jones.
My bad.
Yeah,
Cordell
you
Patterson
good.
Is a wide receiver, running back type
kick
guy.
Returner, yeah.
But my thing is, I mean, that dude was just like, he was different. He was like a 6'7", felt like this monster that you had to just drag and hug down like a giant tree. But my thing is, they look, they won their conference. They beat everybody in their conference. They won handily, but I mean, they had a lot of even with Jordan Travis, they had a lot of one possession games. So when you look at it like that, I kind of understand why. But realistically, I just wish the 12-team playoff would have got instilled this year because that would have cleared it all up. It would have cleared it all up. But I mean, hey, it's going to be implemented next season, and I can't wait to see that. Me personally, I would like a 16 or to 18 team playoff. They do it in the FCS. Excuse me, every year, and it works out just fine. Doesn't interfere with schooling or anything like that. So it's unfortunate, but going back to the playoff games, ah, man, if
Don't make
that,
picks yet. Don't make picks yet.
okay,
Don't make
man,
picks
man,
yet.
how you feel about it?
So I agree with you. I feel like Florida State fits the criteria. I mean, they went undefeated. No matter how they won those games, they're the only outside of Michigan and Washington, they were the third team to go undefeated, win every game in their conference, and win their conference championship. So I feel like there's no reason why they should have gotten in. I get it. Jordan Travis goes down, and they don't look like the same team in their last 3 games. But I mean, this when they played in the conference championship, they were down to their third string quarterback, and I highly doubt he had any plans of playing in this fucking game. Regardless of how they won, they still won. So I definitely feel like they did not get treated fairly in this situation. But I get it. I mean, we all see with the NIL stuff going on that college football has turned into a business. It's not necessarily about whether you go undefeated or what your team looks like or whatnot. They want the team in the college, when it comes to the college football playoff, like you said, that's why I can't wait for the 12-team playoff next year. They want the teams that are going to sell tickets. They want to see the teams play that the NCAA can promote. So do I agree with with the teams that made it in the top 3? To an extent. But I definitely feel like Florida State should have. I feel like I definitely feel like it's unfair that Florida State didn't get in. But I'm not on the committee. I don't make these decisions, so it is what it is. I mean, either way, not saying that I'm not excited about the games that we did get, but I mean, I definitely feel as a fan of the game, I definitely feel like Florida State should have got in.
And I'll say this much: I feel like Florida State should have got in. But I also feel like they got it right.
Yeah.
I also feel like they got it right. Now, if
Yeah.
Jordan Travis doesn't get hurt, Texas fans would have had a boy. Texas fans would have been irate. Texas fans would have been irate because they would have got left out.
They would have, but you also got to keep it. And this is what I've tried to explain to people. Like, although Bama did, they took that loss, but in this, I've had to break this down to so many people. Yes, Texas did beat Alabama. Alabama was the third-ranked team at the time. I think Texas was ranked, number 12, number 11, or something like that?
Texas was a top 5. They was a top 6 team, I do believe, when they played.
I don't think I want to say no.
Alabama.
I think Texas was. I want to say they were right outside.
I think that was the top 10 game.
I'm not 100% sure, but what really helped Bama was the fact that they took that loss very early in the year. And they won. They had, I want to say,
Texas was 3, Alabama was 5 at the time of that game.
I didn't know. I thought it was the other way around.
Yeah, that was a top 5. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So really, what helped Bama was the fact that they were the number 5 ranked team. So Texas was ranked above Bama when they played,
and they kept it that way the whole fucking year,
the entire year. And Bama slow. They progressive. They didn't look like Bama early on in the season. They progressively got better as the season went on. In that time frame, from that one loss to the SEC championship, Alabama had 4 wins against ranked teams. Texas, a couple weeks after that, lost to Oklahoma. They only had, I want to say, 2 or 3 wins against ranked teams. Not to mention, when Bama beat Georgia in the SEC championship, Georgia was the number 1 ranked team in the nation. So you can't be the number you can't beat an undefeated and the number one ranked team in the number one ranked team in the SEC championship and be ranked where they, especially being Bama, be ranked where they are and not get into the college football playoff. That's just how I feel. And I mean, we all know how the NCAA feels about Bama. Bama is always been the sweethearts of the college football world. We all know this.
I mean, I struggle with this because my team is Crimson and Cream and Alabama is Crimson and Cream. But like in the last 15 years, I gotta. Alabama is the Crimson and Cream team.
They
are. So I mean, okay, Texas arguably had the best win in college football because Bama got better and they kept winning. And Texas, outside that hiccup to Oklahoma, I guess, they got better. They kept winning. So these two teams won their conferences and they are deserving of the spot.
They are.
Simple and plain.
And I said it before they had the selection show. It's like, whether we like it or not, somebody's gonna get left out. A fan base, a school, they're gonna get disappointed. They're gonna get pissed off. That's the way it goes. It's plain and simple. Somebody, when you dealing, that's why I'm kind of glad they're making it 12 teams, because when you only got 14, somebody's gonna get left out. Somebody. So and I'm glad I wish they would have done it this year, but I'm kind of glad they're doing something to at least try to fix this shit.
I mean, they did it last year. Alabama had 2 losses, and the committee had them sitting right there at 5.
Yeah.
No. So hey, Michigan, they look like. I mean, obviously, call a spade a spade. They've won majority of their games by double digits, so they look like the most dominant team. Washington, they look like the most explosive team on offense. Well, passing the ball, they're deserving because they won the Pac-12, had a lot of quality wins against quality teams in the Pac-12. Shout out to the Pac-12 in their last season ever.
Yeah.
Damn, that is one hell of a way to go out if you're gonna go out. Majority of their teams were ranked throughout the season. They put on great games on the West Coast, and
yes, they have.
This is the most, outside of last year and this year. This is the most Pac-12 football I've ever watched in my life.
You're not the only one.
Because it was a good football team. Oregon was good. Washington was good. Oregon State was good. You had Colorado in the beginning. You had USC. UCLA was making a little bit of noise. So, I mean, they had you invested for the duration of the season. So, hats off to the Huskies in their second ever appearance in the playoffs. Let's see if they get it done.
Yes, sir. Let's go ahead and talk about it, shall we? We're gonna talk about the number 1 versus the number 4 ranked team, which is the game I really can't wait to see. We have Michigan. We have number 1 Michigan versus we have number 1 ranked Michigan versus number 4 ranked Alabama. This is really what I wanted to get off into. So Michigan, out of all the teams, Michigan has the 106th ranked offense. They're 14th in points scored and 36.7. They average 218 pass yards a game, which is 125th. They average 161 rush yards a game, which is 100th. Their defense is 5th overall. They're giving up 257 yards per game, which is ranked 5th. They're giving up 152 pass yards a game, which is ranked 9th. And they only giving up 87 rush yards per game, which is ranked 10th. They're 74th in points allowed. Bama is 65th in ranked offense, 425 total yards per game, 228 total pass yards per game, which is 101st ranked. They have 172 rushing yards per game, which is ranked 79th. Bama has the 62nd ranked defense, and they're giving up 330 total yards per game. They're only giving up 188 pass yards per game, which is 64th, and 124 rush yards per game, which is 69th. They're 144th in points allowed. Some big wins by both teams. Bama's big wins were against or ranked wins were against Ole Miss, Tennessee, LSU, and Georgia. Michigan's only ranked wins were against Penn State, Ohio State, and Iowa. So I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go first, Ryan, because you you are definitely more the college expert. I watch just as much college as you do, but you know more about college than I do. So I'm gonna let you take this one first, bro. How you feel about this game?
Michigan has a legit chance to get steamrolled yet again in a playoff game. Just from a defensive standpoint of Alabama, I don't think their passing scheme is complex enough to trick the Alabama defenders. Can they get some chunk plays? Sure. um, I feel like the real test in this ball game is going to be Michigan's defense and Alabama's offense.
Yes.
Can Jalen Milroe make the right decisions early on in the game? And if he does that, can he continue to do it? And then can Michigan's defense capitalize on mistakes and minimize chunk plays from Alabama's offense? To me, that is going to be what sets the tone for this game and who we see go to the national championship game.
I agree. I also want people to take into consideration, coming from somebody who's watched a lot of Big Ten football over the last few years, from a former Michigan State fan. Michigan does not play anybody that's an offensive juggernaut. They don't play any in the Big Ten. The Big Ten has never been known as a conference to have teams outside Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan. There are no teams in the Big Ten that really have offenses that keep you up at night, that scare you, that you really have to run any crazy schemes against. So, of course, their defense is they're going to have a high-ranked defense. Not to mention, Michigan is also known as a predominantly they're a run-based team. So a lot of teams will stack up the box and try to defend against the run, which is why JJ McCarthy slices and dices from the backfield. But outside of Iowa, Ohio State, and Penn State, they don't play anybody. Minnesota, what the fuck has Minnesota done in the last few years? What the fuck is Rutgers? That's about it. What the fuck has Rutgers done in the last? Maryland, they don't play anybody that really poses a threat on defense. So and if you saw the reaction, I really don't think they wanted to get Alabama. We all know this. They did not want to get Alabama. So I'm not gonna sit up here and say they're gonna get steamrolled, but I don't think this game is gonna be as competitive as people think it is. Like you said, I definitely want to see how Jalen Milroe reacts to the defense and the pass rush of Michigan. And I want to see how JJ McCarthy and I'm also kind of excited to see, because Blake Corum was not healthy last year in the college football playoff game. So I want to see what he does in this maybe it's kind of a revenge game because he didn't get to play last year. But I mean, they are playing Bama, and we all know how well coached and how well that Bama's defense always plays. So I'm hoping Jalen Milroe can show more of his improvement, and he can make his reads like he has been making from from the Texas loss on. But I'm definitely taking Bama in this game.
Same.
I got Bama. Give me Bama. I'm gonna go high scoring, man. Give me Bama 49-26.
Give me Bama 55-21.
Okay. I ain't mad at that.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be close in the first half, and then Bama about halfway through that third quarter, it's gonna be like, oh boy. Yeah.
It's like looking good. And then Harbaugh gets fired.
No. You motherfucker, you beat Ohio State 3 years in a row, and then you go to the playoffs 3 years in a row.
Yeah, but you couldn't get anywhere outside the playoffs. No, I'm just kidding. You're the Dallas. You are the current Dallas Cowboys of the college football playoff, which we're gonna talk about them later.
I think is it 14 or is it at like the last 19 national champions, 15 or 17 of them has been an SEC champ? You would
know better than I would.
I mean, like something crazy like that. So like, if you're a team that's not in the SEC, you have to be built like an SEC team.
Yeah.
So like, okay, we're gonna see.
Yes, we will. Now moving on to a game that I think is going to be much more competitive. We have number 3 Texas versus number 2 Washington. I gotta flip over to my notes. My bad. Texas is 11th ranked in offense, averaging 487 yards per game, 286 pass yards per game, which is 25th. 189 rush yards per game, which is 43rd. They are the 67th ranked defense, giving up. They are 330, allowing 338 yards per game. They're allowing. They're 16th in. No, I'm sorry. 197th ranked in pass defense, allowing 240 pass yards per game. They're sixth ranked in run defense, which is allowing 80 yards rushing per game. 100 and I think I've scratched something out. 140th in points allowed. Washington is 16. Washington has the 16th overall ranked defense, 343 pass yards per game, which is first overall out of all college football teams. They are averaging 125 rushing yards per game, which is 188th. They have the 192nd ranked overall defense, allowing 263 passing yards per game, which is 245th, allowing 133 rushing yards per game, which is 86th, and they're allowing 178th in points allowed. Some big wins by these two teams. Only ranked wins. I'm sorry. Washington has Arizona. They beat Oregon twice. They beat Utah and Oregon State. Texas beat Kansas, Alabama, Kansas State, and Oklahoma State. I'm gonna take this one first. I honestly think we're gonna see a very high scoring game here. I really do. I mean, now Washington maybe is not. They can run the ball, but they're not a run first team. Obviously, we're gonna see a lot of passing, and with Texas pass defense being as suspect as it is, I can definitely see Michael Penix having a game of his life in this, in the college football playoff. I mean, he's probably coming out there with a chip on his shoulder. I didn't win the Heisman. I probably should have won the Heisman. So he's coming out straight fuck you mode, like straight fuck you mode. Texas, on the other hand, you know how we both feel about Texas. I definitely think Texas is the more complete team out of the two. They have defense and they have offense. And they have something. I'm sure they have something to prove. Last year in the Big 12, they're obviously coming to the SEC next year. So I'm pretty sure they have the mindset with, this is our last year being in the Big 12. Y'all say we can't compete with SEC teams. This is our year to show that we can compete with some of the top teams in the country.
And if you're a Texas fan, you're gonna cry about, we beat Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. Okay, we talking about a Georgia team that played a national championship game the year before. They didn't give a fuck about the Sugar Bowl. And then I'm sorry, but y'all had the easiest fucking path to the Big 12 championship game I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
ever seen in my life. So say what you want. Oklahoma's just mad because they lost to Kansas and Oklahoma State. I'm just mad that we didn't decide to pass the ball 2 whole fucking quarters. And if they call pass interference,
on Kansas State,
should have. No, on Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
We could be very well talking about Oklahoma in the playoff right now, which, finish your thought.
No, you good, bro. Go ahead. It's your turn.
To me, this is, and I hate to say this shit, but it's true. This has the making of Texas beating the shit out of Washington. And I say this because their defense is fucking horrible. This is the worst defense. Yes, this is the worst defense in the playoffs. Their defense is god awful. That's why they've had so many they've won games by 2 and 3 and 4 points, 1 possession games, because their defense just simply kept teams in the game. And then at times their offensive line is terrible. And I don't want to jinx Michael Penix because I picked him. He was my dark horse Heisman winner, and damn it, he should have won. But he always throws about 1 to 3 passes where you like, what the fuck? What was that?
Yeah.
Every game. And I just hope those aren't the passes that end up being 2 or 3 picks and change the whole game. This really is really gonna come down to if Washington's offensive line is going to block, because the Texas secondary can get cooked.
Yeah.
Straight up, they can get cooked. If Washington's offensive line is going to block, and if the defense is their front seven can at least get a pass rush on Quinn Ewers. Because if you watch the Oklahoma game, you get a pass rush on Quinn Ewers, he's going to make mistakes.
He is. He's going to force the ball.
And often. So that's the key to success. The line of scrimmage for Washington. Because this is set up yet again for Texas to go ahead and get back to the national championship game, first time since 2009. So whatever.
I'm trying to put my football feelings aside, and the fact that I really feel like the NCAA is really pushing, for Texas to be the face of the NCAA again. I really don't want to see Texas in the national championship. I don't, because we gonna hear this, as we already gonna hear about them making the college football playoff until next season, but we never gonna fucking hear the end of it. But I feel like if Washington can do remote, just a little bit of what they was able to do to Oregon, they have a chance in this game. But they was able to force Bo Nix to make mistakes, no forced turnovers or whatever, and they were able to capitalize off a couple of those turnovers. So I feel like Washington, every time Washington touches the ball, they got to make it count. You got to get a field goal. You got to get a touchdown or a field goal out of it. And if you do get a turnover, you have to capitalize. You have to capitalize. If you have to capitalize, you have to keep the momentum you have to keep the momentum swinging your way. Because if you allow Quinn Ewers to get going, it's gonna be a long night for your fucking secondary and your defense. Plain and simple.
It's very, I hate to say this shit too, but it's the truth. It's very reminiscent of Oklahoma, right? High power offense, put up points, all this good stuff, no defense.
Yeah.
So it's really gonna come down to are these boys going to play some defense and get out the Quinn Ewers and make it a tough game for them? Because if you don't, it's going to be confetti falling, and you're going to be seeing that burn orange and hearing that Hookem bullshit and Matthew McConaughey and The Undertaker and all these other motherfuckers, man. So, I mean, Huskies, come on, man. Come on.
Please.
Come on, be a pack of wolves on that bull, man.
Please. Speaking of, bro, I'm off New Year. Of course, I'm off New Year's Day. Emma, that's on a Monday. Emma's off that day. So if you won't, y'all can come over. We probably gonna be doing something, but if y'all won't, y'all more than welcome to come over here. I'm gonna talk to her. I don't know what we gonna be doing that day. I'm gonna try to come over, but ain't no guarantees. If not, y'all more than welcome to come over and watch the games.
Get some lip chops.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know. Now we got to go ahead and make the transition into the NFL because we got a lot of shit to catch up on. We got a lot of shit to catch up on. First and foremost, we got to discuss who we think is going to win the end of season award, the end season awards this year, because there's a lot of controversy surrounding this first one. Who do you think will win NFL Comeback Player of the Year? The players that are in the odds, Tua Tagovailoa, Russell Wilson, these are the players that's leading. We go Tua Tagovailoa, Damar Hamlin, Tua Tagovailoa, Russell Wilson, and Matt Stafford. Out of these four, who do you think will win Comeback Player of the Year, or who would you like to see win?
Russ.
I would too.
Russ, because y'all niggas was so quick. You know what? Y'all try to say Russ ain't black. Russ is a black man. He comes from a good family, great morals. He's not a nigga like Future, okay? All right. I love Future too, though, but still. All right. But yeah, I mean, do you know what that would mean? I mean, you beat the Chiefs, then you make the playoffs, and Lord forbid if they have a deep playoff run. Oh man.
Yeah. All right, and if Cody, if you're watching this, bro, I swear to God, if they make a deep playoff run, bro, I'm not talking to you till the off season, because I ain't never gonna fucking hear the end of it. I swear to God, I'm not. Personally, I think Russ is gonna win it. I would like to see Russ win it because I mean, after what he went through last season and what he endured early on in the season, it was looking very bad for fucking like that man got drugged all through the media, and I kind of felt bad for him because last year, the offensive line was getting that nigga killed, and then this year, and then the defense was killing it. Then it was the other way this year, like the offense was killing the defense, couldn't stop no fucking body. And look, I'm going on. I want to be the first to say this. Can we please stop pushing this DeMar Hamlin shit? Look, no disrespect to the man. I'm happy he made a full recovery after what we saw and what he went through last year on the field. But come on, bro. Let's call a spade a spade. The man has played in 2 games ahead. The man has played in 2 fucking games and has 2 tackles. At this point, we have 4 weeks left in the fucking season. He has done nothing. Maybe no fault of his own. Maybe Buffalo, hasn't really wanted to, put him in the game. They scared him. But let's stop trying to push this whole DeMar Hamlin winning comeback player of the year shit. Let's stop because it would be unfair to any of these guys. Plain and simple.
I mean, I'm with you, but I mean, damn, bro, homie died on the field.
Yeah,
bro.
I mean, I agree.
He came back. He came back to get 2 tackles. Shit, that's a win to me. Give him $50 million and just call it a day, man. Come on, Buffalo, y'all got it.
I'd be okay with that as opposed to them giving him NFL in the comeback player of the year. I don't think that shit fair. I really don't. And I get it. I get the severity of the situation, but I don't think that shit's fair whatsoever. I'm just saying, bro.
You fucked up, dude. Hey, man, I ain't got nothing to say about that. I ain't getting caught up in that with you.
I'm just saying, man.
Nope.
Moving on to, I don't know if they're going to throw this in there, but who is your NFL most improved player of the year this year?
Most improved? Guess I got to give it to Dak Prescott.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that, bro. We're going to talk about that later on.
I'm mad at it, but whatever.
I'm going to give y'all a wild card. I know they're not.
Say some bullshit.
I know they're not. They may not have a winning record. They're 1 game off, but I'm gonna go with Mr. Baker Mayfield.
They win the division.
That's what I'm saying. They're first in NFC South, and the way they did him, shipped him out of Cleveland, sent them to fucking Carolina with Matt Rule. And they didn't have success in Carolina. We obviously see it's way deeper than they got a serious problem going on in Carolina. But anyway, yeah, Baker Mayfield, 2,939 yards, 20 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and they first in the NFC South right now. Especially if they get a playoff spot, he gotta win it. He gotta win it, bro, because they tried to crucify that man.
If you win your division, you're in.
Yeah, pretty much. And you got 3 teams sitting at 6 and 7, so you just got to win a couple more games, and you good.
Yep,
you good. But me personally, yeah, I hope Baker gets it. I really do. I hope he gets that. If he don't get that, if he don't get most improved, I hope he get into the playoffs. I really do. I do. Yeah. Now moving on to one of the more controversial, because there's a couple different people you could pick for this one. Who is if you had to pick right now, who's your MVP?
This is really gonna come down to like the last week. I feel like everybody that you would like name had an game except for Dak. I guess I have to go with Dak Prescott. Lamar had a fucked up game. Tua had a fucked up game. Patrick's been having a couple fucked up weeks.
Actually, Lamar actually had a pretty good week. Just he had a pretty good game. Just the Ravens themselves didn't play well.
Okay, all right.
But this is a stat line. Dak Prescott, 3,505 yards, 28 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. Very surprising, by the way. He's only thrown 6 interceptions through this many weeks of the season. That's very surprising. Brock Purdy, 3,553 yards, 25 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Jalen Hurts, 3,192 yards, 19 touchdowns to 10 interceptions, 460 rush yards to and 12 touchdowns. Pat Mahomes, 3,398 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions. And then Lamar, 2,934 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions, 644 rush yards, and 5 touchdowns. Here's my thing. I would go Dak over Brock Purdy simply because of this. If you look at a lot of Brock's like yardage, it's
set up throws.
Yeah, it's yards
and it's
after
yards
the
after catch.
Yeah, like it's a lot of screens, a lot of dump off passes, short slants. He's not throwing the ball deep. So we have given Dak a lot of shit over the last few years, and the way he's played his ass off this season. So I don't personally, and I feel like because he's he has more splash plays and big throws downfield, I would give it to Dak. I really would. We'll see how he played. We'll see how all these guys play within the next few weeks or whatever. But at this point, yeah, I got to go with Dak.
Okay, yeah.
as much as we don't want to give it to him. Moving on to who do you think will win Defensive Player of the Year? We got TJ Watt, 14 sacks, 1 interception, 3 fumble recoveries. Myles Garrett, 13 sacks, 1 fumble recovery. Michael Parsons, 12.5 sacks, 1 fumble recovery. Khalil Mack, 15 sacks. Deron Bland, 8 interceptions, and 5 pick sixes. Who you got winning Defensive Player of the Year?
Parsons.
Micah.
Because when the game was over, this nigga's not even playing, so he could have more sacks.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm talking about 10 minutes of the fourth quarter, nigga not even playing.
Well, they have been playing a lot of bad teams this year too.
Yes.
I'm going TJ. Not just because I'm a Steelers fan, and that's not just because I'm a Steelers fan, but
they won the shit last year.
Yeah, but bro, if you watch TJ, they're literally winning games because him and Alex Highsmith are taking over the game because the offense has not been very good. Anytime TJ gets a sack or this is 3 fumble. I want to say he's had 5 or 6 forced fumbles, but he has 3 fumble recoveries and an interception. Anytime TJ gets a sack or forces a fumble, it sparks life into this fucking team. So, and if they're not going to give it to TJ, personally, I would say give it to Khalil Mack because he's having a resurgence season. He's having a resurgence year this year. I mean, the man does have 15
Are they going to make the playoffs?
No, they're not. They're not. That's why I get what you're saying. They're not.
What the fuck are we talking about here, bro? He should be a Pro Bowler and all that good shit, sure, but
okay, I'm not mad at that.
He should have got Defensive Player of the Year he went to Chicago. He turned that shit around by his damn self.
Well, he did for the first I want to say 12, 14 games, and then he just I ain't hear shit about him
out of 16
out of 3-4 games. Moving on to Rookie of the Year, which we all know who got this one in the bag, but we just have to throw it out there. CJ Stroud, 3,631 yards, 20 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. Bijan Robinson, 790 rush yards, 4 touchdowns, 40 receptions, 320 yards, 3 receiving touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs, 692 yards and 6 touchdowns. Are we both in agreement, sir? Do we really got to talk about this shit? CJ. CJ.
Yeah.
If you say anybody else other than CJ, you don't watch football. Fuck you. Plain and simple. If you say anybody else for Rookie of the Year other than CJ Stroud, which I told you motherfuckers. I told y'all that CJ was gonna be a lot better than people expected. I said this shit. You go back and watch the episode right before the season started. I told you, motherfuckers. I told you.
He did. He did.
I said that, but man, come on, dude. They went and got him Tank Dell, which he's surprised the fuck. I mean, I knew he was gonna be good, but I know he was gonna be that fucking good. But they went and got it. They went and got him Tank Dell. Nico Collins was already a pretty decent wide receiver. Then you give him Bobby Slowick, who was the pass game coordinator and the offensive coordinator last year in San Francisco. They put CJ in the right position. They really did, and he capitalized on that shit. So I got to give it to him. But I think we both in agreement. Got to be CJ.
Yeah. No argument for me.
Now, who would be your pick for Coach of the Year this year?
Shanahan.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not mad at it.
That or Sean Payton. Okay.
I'm gonna go AFC and NFC here. In NFC, I'm going Dan Campbell. Okay, head coach of the Lions. I mean, yeah, they lost the last 2 games, but the Lions was on the tear this year. These motherfuckers was on the mission. They obviously gonna win the division. So
Packers won. No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Well, I mean, the Lions compared to what the Lions were last year and what the Lions have been the last fucking 30 years or whatever, they are sitting at 9-4 right now.
We've seen the Lions in the playoffs in our lifetimes. Calm down. They didn't win.
Yeah, they didn't win, but I mean, they are. I'm not gonna say they're gonna make a deep playoff run or nothing like that. But the way he's had these boys playing this year, is in the NFC. I'm definitely going Dan Campbell. AFC, I don't give a fuck. Nobody say. I'm going DeMeco Ryans all the way, all the fucking way. Well, what the Texans have looked like the last 2 years, especially last year, compared to what they look like this year, 7-6, and if shit can go right for them the last few games,
Jacksonville don't look like they're gonna win the next game either.
They don't. So I mean, if they can, like I said, if shit can go right for them for the next few games, we can be talking about Houston being in the playoffs after only winning 1 or 2 games last year. Like, come on, dog.
The difference between a winning team and a losing team is 2 players.
Yeah, that's true. So we're gonna go NFC and AFC this year on these next 2 topics. I want you to give me your most surprising team. Who is your most surprising team in NFC and who's your most surprising team in the AFC?
AFC is Ravens. They stayed healthy to this point. AFC. NFC most surprising?
Like the team that, I mean, they're doing well, but you didn't expect them, like you didn't see this coming from them.
I didn't expect the Cowboys to do good. They like after a winning season, they usually fall on their face. This is their 3rd winning season in a row.
Fair enough. I ain't mad at that. The NFC, once I'm going back to the Lions because I expected them to be good. I didn't expect them to go on the run that they have so far. I mean, when they came out of punch the Chiefs in the mouth that first game of the season, I don't think any of us saw that. I don't think any of us saw that. So yeah, they are definitely my most surprising team. And the AFC, I'm going with, because they have the same record, I'm going with the Colts and the Texans. The Colts for sure, because I said, like, I didn't expect them to be good at all. Especially like as after Anthony Richardson, like they are both sitting at 7-6. I didn't expect the Colts to be good whatsoever. I did not see this one coming.
Minshew Mania, baby. Minshew Magic. Shout out Mike Leach. He recruited him.
Yeah, and shout out Shane Steichen, which was Jalen's offensive coordinator from last year. So they definitely doing their thing.
They definitely miss his ass this year.
Yeah, for sure. I think they missed the defensive coordinator more than the offensive coordinator.
Bro, like, you still see glimpses of it now where, like, it just seems like a motherfucker's always wide open on the Eagles, but, like, last year, motherfuckers stayed wide open on the Eagles. Stayed wide open.
That's because they feared Jalen so much that they feared their running game coming out of the backfield.
Oh, no, we got to stop his ass.
Yeah. All right, so who is your most disappointing team this year? AFC and NFC.
Kansas City. Kansas City. Y'all breaking my heart. I said, come on. I expected an offseason or free agency or something. Y'all was gonna try to find somebody on the wide receivers core. Y'all have lost 3 out of 4 of your last 4 fucking games because your wide receiver play sucks dog dick. You guys have to figure it out. Look, and even then, Andy still drew up a game-winning play, and guess what? This fuckhead, this guy right here, like, bro, I'm pretty sure you've been playing wide receiver your whole life. You mean tell me you didn't check with the referee for this instance? Now, if y'all throwing this, if everybody's getting $1 million to throw this season, I get it. I get it. With all the Taylor Swift shit, I get it. But this shit is fucking ridiculous. Like, for real, man. Like, what's wrong with y'all? Like, y'all don't want to win? All y'all got stone fucking fingers? Like, I don't get it personally. But whatever, that's cool. It's on y'all. I'm gonna still rock my Kansas City shit. Anyway, NFC most disappointing team in the NFC. Team I thought was just gonna be bonkers. I guess Seattle, man. I expect y'all to be a tad bit better than what you are. But it's the West, man. It's difficult.
Yeah.
That's a difficult division. What about you?
In the AFC, even though they are sitting at 7-6 right now, my most disappointing team, definitely the Bills. The Bills. 7-6. I expected them to be a lot better than what the fuck they are. They blew that game. They blew that game. They had Philadelphia out to a big lead, and they allowed Philadelphia to come back. Who else did they lose? They lost to Jacksonville, which that was definitely a game that they should have fucking won. I'm trying to think of who else they lost to there's no reason why they should have lost that fucking game. There's one more team. They lost to the Jets at the beginning of the season. Remember that? Well, that's it was gonna be the Jets, but I'm like, okay, the Jets are kind of excluded because ain't nobody expect Aaron Rodgers to get hurt for first fucking drive of the game. So we can't throw them out there. But yeah, for me and for the AFC, it's definitely the Bills. And Josh Allen, fuck you. You gonna run Stephon Diggs out of town, motherfucker.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
He's definitely not coming back.
I mean, they're the same team. They've been the same team last 4 or 5 years, bro.
Yeah.
If they don't get chunk plays, they don't win.
And I even said, I didn't think they would be this bad, but I even said, I'm like, I can see in the instance that the Bills kind of know this is the last year of their window to, get to the Super Bowl with all the talent they have on that team. And I can see in the instance to where maybe the pressure is too fucking much because they know this is their the last year of that window. So I can see an instance where it's just like that shit just going to their head. Like it's Super Bowl, and y'all looking too far ahead. Y'all not focusing on what the fuck is going on now. So I definitely feel like in a way that could be the problem, but ain't no telling. Mm-hmm. In the NFC, hands down, it's the fucking Bears. I don't even like the Bears, but I was so high on them coming into the season. Matt Eberflus, you fucking suck. You fucking suck. You need the Bears need to do the same thing the Steelers did. I prayed for Matt Kennedy to get fired and finally fired him. Matt Eberflus, you fucking suck. Why do you have a defensive-minded head coach coaching a team with a young offensive weapon like Justin Fields? Yes, they won their last game, but he is not. For one, the offensive line is going to get Justin Fields fucking killed. Number two, they're not scheming plays specifically for Justin Fields' skill set. DJ Moore, great pickup. Great. And I feel bad for him because he's played on shitty-ass teams his last like 3 or 4 fucking years. But Matt Eberflus need to be gone at the end of the season. As soon as the Bears get eliminated from playoff contention, they don't need to waste no time. Matt Eberflus, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck. He need to have his locker cleaned out before. They need to tell him, hey man, you need to have your shit packed up. You need to have your shit packed up before the game, just in case you lose. Because if you lose, you better not shake no coach's hand. You better not do no interviews. Grab your shit and get the fuck out. I'm not even a Bears fan, but this is sad. It's sad.
They gonna fire that nigga on the tarmac.
They gonna call,
don't even bother getting on the plane with us, nigga.
they gonna like the last, when they like when the teams walk out and shake each other's hand, like as the clock is running down, they're gonna be over the last headset, like, you know what time it is, don't you? You know what time it is. You do as soon as you get. I don't even got to tell you. As soon as you get to the back, you know what to do.
That motherfucker gonna get a text from the owner. You're fucking fired.
You're fucking fired. Suck. You're fired. They're gonna do the Vince McMahon shake face and
you son of a bitch.
Seriously. All right, so we got to have a little discussion about the Cowboys and Mr. Dak Prescott. Are we really ready to call them a contender or what?
I mean, look, man, that right now, today, right now, this current moment, they look like a team that can go out there and beat any team in the NFL. Are they going to do that? No. But you just got to weather this Cowboy storm a tad bit longer. As always, their problem has never been the regular season. Their problem has always been January. Okay, so
that's what every Cowboys player and every Cowboys fan has nightmares about. Is January in the third round.
Right after Christmas, you get to feeling good and start thinking about all those games, the 20-21 against the Seahawks, the Dez Bryant fumble, or every game against the 49ers. Or, it's just something about January and the Cowboys that, ever since 95, this doesn't seem to mesh well. Maybe this is the curse of Randy Moss. Maybe this is the year it breaks. Maybe it's all gonna stay the same.
No, what's that scene in the Equalizer when it was asking him about his book? Hold on, I got this ball right here. I don't want to spoil it for you. We all know how this story ends, but
stir the pot.
I can't say one thing. Dak has actually shown me he's shown me a lot of improvement the last two games. As much shit as we give him, especially in that Seahawks game. I know the Seahawks are not the team we expected them to be, but the Seahawks did have their backs against the ropes, and Dak drove them down the field and helped them win the game. He's cut back on his turnovers and his really idiotic ass fucking throws, and he's looked really good this season. So I got to give him props for that. I think that's more Mike McCarthy than Dak. I think it's a combination of both.
I think it's a combination of Mike McCarthy. I think it's a combination of him seeing what the fuck Jalen's been doing.
Yeah.
Well, shit, he ain't always trying to throw the ball. He running to get the first. Yeah, bro. You don't have to get it all in one place, son. Yeah. You can get 5 yards, make it 30 manageable, get the first down. Oh, boy, you got 3 more downs. Imagine that. But, yeah, I mean, they use my boy CeeDee Lamb. Shout out to my boy.
He been balling this shit too.
Yeah, he's been balling his ass off. So I want him to do good. Obviously, you know what I'm saying. It's bittersweet having one of your boys on the Dallas Cowboys. But I mean, it's all good. I mean, we'll see. Like I said, we'll just have to see in January. The problem is not December. The problem is not November. The problem
is January.
It's January. So
we shall see, because that Seahawks game, I definitely feel like that was a trap game, because I was just okay to see, Dallas is rolling. Now they playing a team that's semi-good, and they finna turn right back into the fucking Dallas Cowboys, and they ended up winning that game. Then they play Philadelphia, and I'm like, okay, this is when shit is about to all come crashing down. And they burned the fucking Philadelphia Eagles ship down. So that was quite surprising to me. So like I said, I'm not ready to call Dallas a contending team. I've tried to the last 2 years to try to give them their props, and they've made me look stupid each time. But they still have the Bills.
They're leading the division.
Yeah, they still have the Bills and the Dolphins, and of course, and the Lions. And if they can get through these next 2 games, they'll be fine. Their last 3 games, they got the Bills next week. They got the Dolphins, the Lions, and the Commanders. If they can get through the Bills and the Dolphins, they'll be okay. They will be okay.
Let me ask you one question, because I already have the answer to it, in my opinion. Who's the most overrated team?
The Cowboys, as always. Well, This year is probably Philadelphia.
Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, you're not lying. You're not lying. I was going to talk to you about them. But first, before we talk about them, I want to talk to you about what the fuck is going on in Philly. What the fuck's going on?
They don't have the offensive coordinator.
They don't.
So you got a guy who's trying to
go ahead. My bad.
You got a guy I feel like who's trying to mimic what was done the year before, at the same time implement his scheme and what he wants, and then you got to keep everybody around you happy, which is why they haven't been beating the shit out of people like we was accustomed to them doing last year.
Right.
That's my opinion.
I don't think it's the offensive coordinator. I think it's more so the defensive coordinator. I want you to listen to this, bro. These are the last 3 games. They give up in that game to Buffalo, even though they won, they give up 505 yards total of offense to Buffalo. The following week, they when they lose to San Francisco, they give up 456 yards total of offense. Then you turn right back around to Dallas, they give up 400 yards total of offense. The defense is definitely a fucking problem. And we all know defense, I mean, maybe not this day and age, but when January gets here, your defense matters. You can't be giving up 400. You can't be giving up 350, 400. You can't give up 400 and 500 yards of offense and expect to win in January. You really can't.
Yeah.
Now get it. Now, granted, I understand y'all play Buffalo, San Francisco, and Dallas, 3 teams with a very explosive offense, but you cannot allow this shit to happen. Because when you get to the playoffs in January, there are no bad teams.
Mm-hmm.
There are whether you like it or not.
Outside of wild card week.
Yeah, outside. I mean, even wild card. I mean, the team they got there some way somehow. But either way, you're not playing no bad teams. So they gotta fix this shit. They really.
So Tampa wasn't bad last year.
They was. They was
god awful.
But I mean, they get a good opportunity to get their feet back under them. Their next 4 games, they have the Seahawks, they have the Giants, the Cardinals, and then they have the Giants for their last game. So, this is the right time. This is the perfect time to, reset, settle down, get your feet back under you, and, get your defense back together. Regroup.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, the last team I want to talk to you about is San Francisco. To me, right now, San Francisco still looks like the best team in the NFL. They look like the best team and the most
complete.
They do the most complete, most well-balanced team in the NFL. What's your outlook on this team? Like, do you
see? I was starting to get concerned. Like, damn, they peaking too soon. And I mean, then we saw that game where CMC and Debo wasn't healthy. Mr. Purdy's not that guy without them. So I mean, as long as they stay healthy, I don't see nobody beating them. If they stay healthy on both sides of the ball, I don't see nobody beating them.
I don't. I mean, especially that defense is just nasty. That defense is. Oh man,
sideline to sideline.
Like, I am looking at their schedule. They have not given up more than 23 points in the game. The most points they've given up was 23 points against the Rams in week 2. Other than that, they have not given up 20 or more points in the game at all.
Now, who do they? Who do they play? They played the Seahawks last. No, they just played the Seahawks recently.
They played the Eagles. They played the Eagles last week.
Okay. Now, this is the same thing I've been paying attention to. Pay attention to teams the week after they play Buffalo.
Yeah.
They look tired. They look beat the fuck up. They look tired. They looked unmotivated. That's why they went down there in Dallas and got their asses kicked, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They still haven't recouped from that ass whooping they took from San Francisco. And they took another brutal ass whooping by Dallas. So hey, man, maybe next week they get it together.
We shall see. I think these are their remaining games. They got the Cardinals coming up next week. Then right after that, they have the Ravens, which I'm really looking forward to that game.
Yeah, Christmas Day.
Yeah, they got the Ravens. They got the Commanders and the Rams to end the weekend. That 49ers and Ravens game, that is going to be the most watched. I'm not gonna say the most, but that's gonna be a highly watched game on Christmas. I'm gonna be up in Chicago, so I'm gonna try to watch what I can. But that is definitely that game. if you like football and you really want to get a, kind of a taste of what playoffs gonna look like, this is the game you should be watching.
Nigga, bring a coat.
Oh, I'll plan on the coat, North
Two
Face,
coats.
North
coats.
Face, my Carhartt, the Pooh Shiesty mask, all that.
Yeah, it's gonna be real nice and cold, man.
For sure. Yeah, usually we take about 2 trips to Chicago, so I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Hell yeah.
And then keep it, like I said, after Christmas, bro, save your money because we are going to Indiana, so you can go see your boy.
King J.
I'm looking forward to that, man. I'm looking forward to that. But that's going to be a wrap for this episode, man. Once again, we thank y'all for tuning in as always every week. Be on the lookout because after New Year, we will be getting a new logo, new theme song and everything. So please stay tuned. Come playoffs, the previous guests that we've had, Big Daz, Lawan, probably be bringing back on Derek and Brandon. We will be doing that for the playoffs. So, just make sure y'all stay tuned. And as always, Ryan, I love you, brother. And, I hope you have a great week, bro.
You too, man. Be safe.
You too, brother. Until next week.